welcome to my district, our district here. Andrew Myers, represent 11 cities over here, and this is kind of the heart of my district. And Excelsior is a place that I come down with my kids, our family. My kids go to Excelsior Elementary, and there's a big need out here. And this service is not just the 11 cities here. I mean, we're pulling from Minnetonka. I mean, people are out here every day on the weekends and holidays. And so I'm excited for you guys to, listen to this project, and I'll introduce Mayor Todd Carlson here.
Great. Hey, thanks, Andrew. Hey, on behalf of the city of Excelsior, I really want to say, first of all, welcome, and thank you for taking the time to come out. Chair Lee, Minority Leader Erdahl, all honorable members of the Capital Investment Committee, we really appreciate your time today. On behalf of the city staff and city council, Councilmembers Crone, we've got Councilmember Durking, Councilmember Tyler in the back. Really want to say again, thank you and welcome. Excelsior, a historic town, founded in 1853. And as I like to say, the vision that I like to try to institute in this community is I want Excelsior to be the place to live, work, and play for the entire Minneapolis region. So it's my pleasure to welcome you today. I want to say thank you again, special thank you to Andrew Myers for coordinating this event. And I'm going to introduce Councilmember Jennifer Crone, who's going to share some background on the projects that we'd like you to consider.
Welcome, everyone. You saw me back in March. I testified before the House Committee. Welcome again. Nice to see you all. Thank you, Representative Myers. We do love you here in Excelsior. We appreciate your leadership and your dedication to your district, and particularly your engagement right from the beginning with our residents and the other communities in your district. I am going to walk you through a little bit of information about Excelsior. Some of this you may recall from when we testified, but I'm going to expand a little bit on it, and then we're going to move straight to Public Works Superintendent Tim Amundsen, who is going to talk you through the boards and the pieces of pipe and infrastructure that we have here, as well as the water that's coming out of our taps. Excelsior was founded in 1853, as the mayor said, and although our water plant and pipes are not quite that old, they're not that far off, we have water mains and sewer pipes that are 70 to 100 years old, quite a lot of them. The water main pipes are corroded, they're failing, and they are causing brown water to be delivered to our users. We're sending good water out of our water plant. We have a very small water plant. You see that brick building back there? It's about 50 years old. It's tiny. It's supplying water not only to all of Excelsior, which itself is quite small, but it's also providing water to adjacent communities, Shorewood and Greenwood. So we have some boundary areas where we provide water over that line. We are not only a small city in population. I think on the fact sheet, which please do pick up on the table right behind Chair Lee, I want to give you the right number. It's 2,335 people is our population, so very small. But we're also really limited in taxable land area. Almost half our city is property tax exempt. It is lakes, it is schools, it is churches, it is parks. The map on the fact sheet kind of shows you our size and outlines in red the streets where our underground utilities are needing replacement. There's another map behind Councilmember Durking in the pink, which shows you the streets that we ourselves have completed in green. And when I say streets, I mean the utilities underground, the water, the sewer, the stormwater pipes, as well as the surface street. And then the red, again, like your fact sheet map, is what is still to be completed. So I think this is important. 17 years ago, we identified the age and condition of our systems, and we recognized we had a responsibility in the city of Excelsior to replace this aging infrastructure. We were proactive about that. We funded that need with regular bonding since 2007. We have issued $22.7 million in municipal bonds to address our infrastructure needs. That's a really remarkably large number for a community that is 2,355 people and a land area of a taxable land area of 507, actually it's 335 acres after you take out the tax exempt land. Really small. We still have $21.6 million in unmet water, sewer, and street infrastructure needs. We're at the point now where increasing the debt levy and raising our utility rates is unsustainable, and we need your help. We are asking for your support of our request for funding to address the 70 to 100-year-old pipes that are creating brown water for our residents and our visitors. I could go on and on about Excelsior and our need, and you've kind of heard it from me before, and I hope I will be able to share more with you when you hold your hearings in March. But I'm going to turn it over to Tim Amundson because he can share with you more of the specifics, the engagement with our residents, what we go through when we have a water main break, and the type of piping that's in our system and what he's pulling out of the ground when we have a main break or when we do a street project. So I'm going to turn it over to Tim.
Good afternoon. I'm Tim Amundson. I'm the Public Works Superintendent. I've been with the City of Excelsior for 7 years now. So today I'm just going to speak a little bit on the infrastructure problems we're experiencing in town and expound upon those things. We can't solve for many of the water quality issues that we have in town at the water treatment plant itself, right? So when we have the water leaving the plant, it's near zero iron content. So the issue becomes when it hits this old pipe that I'm going to be showing you shortly, you know, that old cast iron pipe, that's what causes the discoloration within that pipe. And that's where we experience the issues with water quality. And also, in terms of every winter, we typically have several water main breaks, several water service breaks, and that kind of leans to both, you know, those instances, water quality, but also the breaks. You know, we have a staff of just 6 full-time employees in Excelsior. So really, when we're experiencing these things, you know, it's really difficult. We're strained for resources. Some of these things obviously happen in the winter. We're trying to plow snow. We've only got 6 people to help us do these things. So really, it's a strain on our resources and our normal day-to-day operations. So with that, I'm going to just walk through some of these items. So to start, this is cast iron water main. So this is what the water main that's still in the ground consists of. This is old cast iron. This is from the 1920s on. So this is what is causing the discoloration in our water and all of the water quality issues that we're experiencing to date. This was directly taken, this is water from a hydrant that we were flushing. So this water was directly from system water that is drinking water. So we had flushed this for 5 minutes when this sample was taken. So this is water that's a direct result of that cast iron pipe that's being passed around. That's what causes the discoloration in this. Like I said, we have a near zero iron content in the water leaving the plant. So it's hitting that old infrastructure and causing this discoloration. Is that potable? That is potable water, correct. So here's some bolts. So as you can see, this is a normal bolt that connects the pipes together. These are the bolts that we have in the ground. When we have reconstruction projects, this is what we're seeing when we replace those pipes. So here's a new bolt, here's an old bolt. Then lead service lines. So we do have lead service lines. They're directly connected to our water main. So this is a gooseneck that connects directly off the water main, and that allows the water main to be planed out. And they would put in a straight pipe, which was galvanized, and there's some galvanized services here. But these are on 170 plus connections anticipated to be with our old water main. So the water main from the 20s, 30s, 40s still incorporates these lead service lines. Also, we have galvanized services. So these galvanized services, these are connected to those lead water lines. So these are what you'll see in the ground with the lead. And there is now, you know, state mandate, federal mandates to replace galvanized downstream of lead to include the lead. So this will be replaced to the curb stop in our proposed reconstruction projects. There is holes in them. So these are from actual excavations. I actually have the address on one of them. So this is also, to take a look inside the pipe, you can see the condition of that pipe too. And that's, you know, what serves the potable water to residents through these service lines.
Do you have any 20-inch, 24-inch service lines?
No, we do not have any large water mains. So typically the largest water main I think is 14 inches. That's one of our trunk lines. So as a smaller city, we don't have any large water mains like that. So. Then we have sediment buildup. So some of this sediment was taken out during flushing hydrant operations. You know, when we flushed the water, we found these pieces on the ground. And that's just sediment buildup within the pipe. That's corrosion within that cast iron pipe. I'm not going to pass the shirts around, but we have 2 different shirts you guys can come up and take a look at. One is brand new, one was washed once, in water that had galvanized service line. So that's representative of the issues that we're dealing with the residents. So that kind of lends itself into the final point I want to touch on, and that's next door posts. So we get many of them, and we get many complaints to City Hall. And a lot of them are complaining about the water. As you can see in their toilet, it's discolored. They'll put it in glass, it'll be discolored. This is pre-Brita filter, post-Brita filter. This first one states it's brown water Sunday here in Excelsior, Minnesota. My town says it's safe, which it is safe, but it's not clean by any means, as we can see that. But disclosure, it's intermittent, not always brown, but you never know when, so why I wouldn't chance it. Filter before you sip, and why is my water brown with another one with brown water in the toilets? So really, I guess speaking to that point as Public Works Superintendent, it's super difficult, right? You visit these homes, you want to provide them safe, clean drinking water. You know, we have good water coming out of the plant that's verified by all our testing that we do daily, the state's testing. But the issue is when it hits this old infrastructure, right? And it's super difficult for me because my job is to provide them with clean water. And when you've got these issues with old infrastructure, when that water hits that pipe and it discolors it like this, or you've got these old service lines in the ground, there's nothing that we could do at the plant to alleviate this. And it really, it pulls at my heartstrings because we want to do a good job for the residents. We want to provide them safe, clean drinking water, but we're unable to do that with the age of the infrastructure.
This is urgent. We have not bonded since 2021. We have to issue a bond in '24 because Met Council came through, and so we took advantage of the fact that they were here and we addressed our infrastructure when they opened up the streets. We have to bond for that in '24 as well as some other needs we have. So we're delaying these critical streets that are 70 to 100 years old, where we're experiencing this brown water because of other competing needs, and because we're at that point where how do we continue to tax our people and bond, with the bonding to the degree that we have. So that's a big number, 22.7. Another $1 million in a PFA loan. To apply for a PFA loan, we're going to get back behind all the other people that are ahead of us, and it's more debt. We're asking for help because we've taken on debt, and a lot of communities, I think, come to you and ask for support. But my question is, what have they done their part? We have done our part.
Yeah, and then I could just speak to, I think everybody saw what's on the floor, the sanitary clay sewer pipe that has roots growing into it. So that's just typical of clay pipe because you don't have modern day installations where it's airtight and it's glued together. So that's what happens. You get roots, you get breaks, things like that. And then stormwater as well. We also, where it's non-existent, we do not, and where it does exist, we have capacity issues, right? So modern day rain events, it's, overcapacity, things like that. So when we do that, we will also put in some water quality devices that will help protect our most sacred resource, Lake Minnetonka. And then the last thing I want to leave you with, everybody wants to take a look.
Not the last thing, the bathroom.
Oh yeah, there it is.
There it is. That's what we deal with every day in our shop, and it's similar to what residents deal with.
Yeah.
All right, you're good. You can take a look at that as well.
Does it ever settle out, or is it tainted the water already?
It depends on where you are, right? If you're on a dead end, typically it's difficult for it to settle out because it's always there. It's where it's collecting, right? Here, it's kind of similar to a dead end, but we will flush that for hours, and you can't still get rid of that in some instances.
I mean, even in that pail.
Yeah, yes, eventually we'll settle out over, a day or so, right? So, then the bathroom, the toilet looks just like the next door post, so if you want to take a look at the toilet, see what the toilets look like in Excelsior, go for it. It's not luxurious by any means.